All right, everybody, welcome to a Victory Thursday, W Thursday, Winning Thursday. Gosh, it felt so long to say that. Oh, I've
It's
been
been a
waiting
month.
for so long. It's only been a month, right? Dave, we're finally having a winning post-game show in over 30
Yes.
days, ironically. How
Yes.
are you, buddy?
Oh man, I'm okay. That's the first match actually I was not able to catch live this season. So I did have to watch it 12 p.m. Our time. It was just what a trash time slot for us. So yeah, I did have to watch it at the end of the night there. I wish I could have watched this one live. Honestly, I'm like slightly disappointed that I didn't catch it live. But you caught most of it live. I'm
I did.
assuming, right?
I caught it live, ironically, so I was able to actually watch good chunks of this one. To be honest with you, this was one of those games where there was moments where I felt like I just wanted to throw my stuff against the screen, and there was stuff where I was actually happy. Like, oh my goodness, like it was a game of mixed emotions. Like when I saw the Paredes free kick, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then like the Dusan goal, but then like for example, the Chiesa not passing to Kostic and lesson legends still say that Kostic is still waiting for that pass to this very day. But yeah, it's just a really unique game of mixed emotions, Dave.
Yeah, and I could extrapolate that that's perhaps how that would have felt because I knew everything going into the game. It was no surprise, right? I,
I
I can
I, I know all. I'm the Oracle.
well, no, I get the updates on my phone, and I barely have signal, right? So like stalled out at the 93rd minute. I'm like, no, no, what's the score? But obviously, it did come in eventually, and I found out well before I even watched the thing, right? So I knew what to expect. There's a couple things we'll bring them up. A couple of things that I really noticed as well that were refreshing to see. Yes, there were still issues. Yes, we were still fairly leaky defensively and had a lot of lapses. But at the same time, well, I'll just say it now. We'll get into it later. But Moretti, man, how many times? How many times?
I'm sorry, but that guy's about to be a meme with how many chances he gets and he just can't finish.
But I mean the workup play again. We'll get
Oh
into it
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
goal
yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Totally. I mean, the dude's build up, like his off the ball movement was unreal.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I loved seeing Moretti's off the ball movement. I think his finishing needs, a lot of work. But like for example, those are the runs you want to see Dusan or Milik or Keane make. Like
Mhm.
those aggressive forward moving runs. So it's like it's almost interesting because you're looking at it and you're like, wow, Moretti is almost moving like a center forward or a striker more than he is as a
Yeah.
midfielder. Just for him, I kind of call BS on that offsides in my opinion, but whatever. Biases are biases. But
Yeah. So
he
that's where like you say the memes. I mean, he did put one in the net.
he did. He did. But it's just one of those things where it's so refreshing when you see something like that because then that just gives you a whole new dynamism to your attack. I
Mm.
think and I think the main takeaway of this game was we should have scored more.
Yeah, our expected goals was 1.8. So, however accurate that stat is, I think we were on point, I guess. But yeah, if you look at Moretti, some of the calls, I guess a bit of controversy. Again, there's normal. I think you just expect that in terms of if he calls is if the reffing is clean for a match, you just accept it as a positive week. You know, it's just cool. It happened this week. Probably
Right.
not next week. It is what it is. But man, I said we wouldn't get into it. We kind of just rolled into it. We didn't even do any of the housekeeping. So
I
first
know.
off, everyone, like and subscribe, please. Let's do that. Because that's how we keep on going, get the algorithm turning, if you will.
And ironically, this is technically a post Lecce mini podcast that I totally didn't say it in the intro, guys. So like I'm an absolute failure at my job. I am done. My broadcasting career is over. I'm going to start selling terrible coffee at Tim Hortons. I will see you guys on the next video.
Okay, to be fair, he just came out of Detroit traffic, so you're probably a little frazzed up. It's okay. I had
I'm
a
not
rough day. We had rough days. It's all
I'm
good. We're here.
I'm not really that much of a road rager though. I mean, like
Still, you got to go through it.
it's yeah, it's I don't know what's going on in Canada right now. Like I think something's happening at the Windsor border where everybody and their dog is like, "Hey, let's go to Windsor." It's like apparently just a plethora of people turn 19 in the area and finally want to get their first sip of alcohol.
Maybe, yeah. This time of year, I'm not really sure.
Because with all due respect, it's like with Detroit building like 3 casinos there's no reason to go to Caesars Windsor anymore. It's like we've literally put Windsor's casino industry out of business.
Yeah, I mean Windsor. If anybody's from Windsor, I'm sorry, but I mean, I think your time in the limelight, if you even want to call it that's coming to a close.
Yeah, like
Detroit's got the money again. It looks like.
I was gonna say, yeah, because I was gonna say, what was Windsor's limelight like 2002 to like 2010 or 11?
Man, I have so many friends from Windsor too. And there's the stereotype of Windsor, like to a T. Man, if I can get him on one time, that'd be fun just in itself.
At least I hear the pizza's good, so
exactly, yeah, because it's a bunch of Italians.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
The pizza's good in Windsor. So if you're from Windsor or Detroit or somewhere in that cross-border region, give us a shout out. Let us know. Let us know your favorite pizza joint, because I know it's huge down there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
you know, we're
nerds.
Segueing.
Sorry?
We're segueing.
yeah, we're segueing because we're talking about the good pizza, but it's also a day for all the nerds out there. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars reference there, but also on a sadder note, it is the anniversary of the Grand Torino tragedy that happened in 1949. Yes, there used to be a third Torino team. Google that to get more information, but essentially, they all died in a plane crash. And
ironically, that was probably one of the biggest what if scenarios in like Italian football history.
Oh, yes,
because that Torino team was hands down one of the most just dominant specimens on the planet at that point. And then ironically, 9 out of the 11 starting X for the Italian national team were on that Torino team. Yeah. And you could arguably say that Italy should probably have two more World Cups if that never happened.
Yeah, the what ifs, of course, man. Yeah, I suggested today. Just rung a bell. I think we're gonna do a little movie, little show, whatever, a clip. What do we call them? Videos? We call them videos.
Video documentaries, something like that.
Yeah, we should do something on that. That is just from the tragedy itself, but the what if questions, what could have been, would there still have existed 3 Torino teams to this day? Who knows?
Yeah.
Very interesting history. Yeah, we'll get into that with a separate video as well. I think that's definitely a deservative one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Otherwise, yes, let's get into the post game. I think first off, it should be noted Napoli tied today. I was hoping they were going to lose.
I thought they were going to. I know. I thought they were going to, but whatever. They won their first trophy in God knows how long.
30 years.
Yeah, so it's like congratulations. Take your 5 minutes of fame and just go back to the sea of irrelevancy that you guys will go to in the next 1 or 2 years. Because with all due respect, you guys aren't keeping Osimhen and you're not keeping Kvaratskhelia.
Probably not. Probably not.
Don't see it.
So you know what I love? Big stats came out today. The power rankings, the most valuable clubs in the world, essentially, footballing clubs. Napoli comes in at 28th. We're sitting at 11th, just outside the top 10. We kept the top 10, I think, for quite a while. We just got pushed out, just ahead of us. You have PSG, you got all the big English teams in Bayern and there, and Real and Barca, of course. But you know who's 24th? 4 places ahead of Napoli.
I'm drawing blanks.
It's a good one because it's ironic, but we also love him here on this channel. Come on, Gypsy.
Come on, Gypsy. No way. Toronto FC is worth more than Napoli?
And they have Insigne, which is amazing. I don't know. I find it a bit ironic.
I was going to say, is Insigne worth more than the whole damn team or something? Like,
he's worth a lot. I think it's like 16 mil or something they're giving him a seat. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And that's US dollars. So yeah,
it's
nuts.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I mean,
Oh.
LAFC's up there too. There's a few MLS teams that are worth quite a bit that are in those rankings. So
No,
that's interesting.
I get you, but that to me is nuts. I can't believe that. But hey, all right, cool.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
talk. That's all I can
yeah,
say to that.
yeah,
Good talk.
Toronto. There we go.
Now you're gonna give De Laurentiis like some fuel for when he's like, oh yeah, Toronto FC is worth more than us, and I still beat Juventus for the Scudetto because every time I go to bed, I still check for Juventus under my pillow. Like, come on, man. The guy in his press conference, at least we won the Scudetto of honesty. And then like there's a documentary.
Like bullshit. Come on.
There's gonna be a documentary like not even 15 or like 5 years later saying how like Gravina and Chine like conspired to help Napoli win the title, and it's gonna be Calciopoli Part 3, and then De Laurentiis is gonna produce a film because he's like, why not make money off this?
Yeah, he's the filmmaker De Laurentiis.
Yes, he is.
Man, yeah, no, that would be. Again, would I be surprised? I'm not sure, but
you can't be. But
I mean, I encourage it. I would like this to happen.
I would just, the pettiness in me would love to see it happen.
Yeah, but again, on a brighter note, there's a couple important things that happened today. Lisa Boateng from the female team signed till 2025, and because we love our youngsters and we want to see them, and we might just see them next season, Kenan Yildiz turns 18 today on May the 4th.
He's finally an adult.
He is an adult.
He is an
just
adult.
not in America. That's why they crossed the board. If you guys don't know that, the drinking age in Canada is 19. In Ontario, anyways. Some places it's 18, whatever. In America, it's 21.
Yeah, because America.
Yeah, never understood that. But whatever. I mean, at least there's some countries that they ban it outright. So I mean, small victories.
Yeah, because it's haram.
They probably aren't allowed to watch this anyways. I don't know. Do they have a firewall?
I don't know. That's actually a good question.
Well, there is now. I think we just got banned in Iran. So.
Well, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Darn it.
Let us know though if you're watching from Iran. Hey, that'd be cool. Let us know. I love to know where everyone comes from. To be honest, I love the community. So, any Iranians from in Iran, I know there's Iranian descendants, expatriates, what have you, or whatever. Even if you are, just let us know. Iranians, give us a shout out. Okay.
I think we've dicked around long enough. I think we need to start diving into the game before people start complaining and saying, hey, why aren't these two talking about Juventus? What the hell's wrong with these guys?
We did talk about Juventus. They're 11th best in the world.
Yeah, I know. 11th best in the world. 11th best in the world, 3rd best in the league.
So let's start off then with the big surprise, Paredes.
Yeah. That was actually.
How was that live? Again, I wasn't watching live. The reaction, though, I imagine.
I kind of was. I didn't, to be honest with you. I was like, that shit went in.
It looks like the goalie probably could have saved it.
Yeah. Well, the thing. So what happened was when he hit it, it dipped and then it bounced over his arms.
Yeah.
So
a little tricky.
Yeah, it's a really tricky free kick, but it duped me so hard because I'm looking at it and I'm like, did somebody on the wall leave a hole for it to go through? Because it was a low shot.
Yeah.
It didn't go over them. It just kind of went around and then bounced. And then I looked at the instant replay and the wall was 2 feet off center. So usually when you're building a wall for a free kick, you stand center to obstruct. These guys were 2 feet off. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, Paredes is probably just licking his chops and looking at this. And I'm sitting here like,
how do you mess that up at that level, though?
How do you mess up? Yeah, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I was baffled that happened.
Okay, so you know what's wild? Paredes has scored 4 goals in Europe from direct free kicks, top 5 leagues. So he's up there. But building on that,
we lead the Europe.
Yes, we lead Europe in direct free kicks this season with 4. With 4 of them. And we're one of the 2 teams to have 3 different goal scorers doing it. this too. I'm gonna
say this. Guys, you're professionals. Work on your fucking free kicks if only 4 have been scored. Holy shit.
And that was the other thing. Is 4 is the leader in Europe? Wow.
De Bruyne, Mahrez and them haven't scored any. Holy shit. Is everybody just going for pens now and just like completely? Yeah, what was it? Everybody's writing Messi as like the greatest free kick taker. Dude, has he scored one this year? Like I don't even know. Has he gotten a free
I'm
kick
not.
goal?
I'm not even sure.
I mean, I know Ronaldo can't score a free kick. Dude hits it in the wall every freaking time. He even
Well,
did it in Saudi, which I thought was hilarious.
yeah, even there. But isn't that the problem that we all had in the Ronaldo days, that he would take all the free kicks and then just bottle every one of them?
Yeah, he robbed Pjanic. Pjanic was probably
Yeah.
arguably the best free kick taker in the
Oh,
world at
yeah, he
that
was
time.
great. And okay, so we're having a bad season, sure, but this is something I had, I don't know, back and forth comments there in one of the shorts we had, because we like to put some of the vintage stuff as well as, I mean, I just put Duson's goal on as a short as well a couple hours ago, right? So we do everything, but the whole thing was, oh, we have to look at old school stuff to celebrate the team. I'm like, no, there's things happen this season that we can look at and can celebrate. And this here is one of those things, even though it's a very small victory, but we're leading in direct free kicks, and that's something we were absolutely trash at with Ronaldo.
Mhm.
So let's celebrate that. I'm happy. Forest still, yeah, okay, whatever. But we're still leading. We're still
Like,
in first in that regard.
it's just kind of like that just cynicism that irritates me. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, oh yeah, well, we suck now. It's like, all right, okay,
Do we
uh,
suck, or are we just not as? We're just not great.
we talked about it on the podcast with Gallagher about it, and
Yeah,
like
which you guys
even
should check out. I'll link that at
yeah,
the end.
it's a really good conversation. But like for example, what was it? Our good friend Inconvenient Truth and Sunday League Coach out on Twitter posted. They were just kind of like, you guys realize like we've had like 9 consecutive seasons of us getting high 80s, like upper 90s, and it's like we look at the points we have now and we think it's an utter disaster, and it's like they call it out right then and there. It's like, you guys got to remember, like you got to stop being spoiled as a fan base. Like
Yeah, we are
it's
spoiled, of course. Yeah,
like I get it, and it's like people are going to probably take this in context me saying that, oh yeah, Dash has reduced the standards, Dash has low standards, and blah blah blah. Guys, come on, we gotta be realistic. What's in front of us? Like, I've seen different kind of podcasts, I've listened to them, and it's like they make the argument, oh, you're bringing Pogba, you're bringing Di Maria, you're bringing this with the expectation to win the league. All right, great. Has Di Maria performed consistently? Kind of no, to
he's
be
been one
honest
of
with
our
you.
better ones, mind you. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's had his dips as well.
yeah. Pogba barely started playing again.
He looked
Chiesa,
good though, that one run,
yes,
that feed
it
from
was
Pajoli.
that was filthy.
Yeah,
But like for example, Chiesa hasn't been consistent whatsoever. And
no,
argue Allegri plays him here, Allegri plays him there. I'm sorry, but like when Chiesa pissed me off when he didn't pass that ball to Kostic, where he's like, hey, let me dribble the guy by myself. Dude, just play the ball. He'll play it back to you. Kostic always crosses before he even does anything else. So it's like, chill,
yeah.
man. But like,
I feel like he's maybe getting into that headspace now, or he hasn't really found his stride, and maybe getting a bit frustrated.
yeah, but the thing is again, that's the double-edged sword when you start playing with these younger 22, 23,
Mhm.
24, 25, 26-year-olds, man. It's like, relax. Like, take it easy. Where it's
But
like,
that's not Chiesa. Like that's why
nah,
we love Chiesa, because he doesn't take it easy.
it's not. And and Allegri kind of said the one thing back then at the beginning of last season where he was talking about Chiesa, where he's like, the kid's still raw. Like
Yeah.
just pure rawness. And he's
Think
like,
of like Metallica when they're still playing in the garage,
yeah. And
the
that's what he
80s.
and to be honest with you, I kind of agree with him because I heard it and I reheard it and I thought about it and I'm like, hold on, let me think about this a little bit. And then I look at it, I'm like, Chiesa didn't really have, a high level of consistency of being a dominant player. Like he was okay, he was good in his Fiorentina years, but again, he wasn't, like the greatest thing since sliced butter or since
So
whipped butter.
sliced butter.
Sliced butter, whipped
You
butter.
got sliced butter in America?
Because like for me, I think during the Pirlo season, I think Chiesa took off in January because he was kind of slow. He was slow September, October, November, December, and then for me, it kind of started picking up in December. But like he really got hot in January, and then it went on throughout the season. And then like for example, yeah, because the Porto games where Chiesa was the only one that scored the goals against Porto,
Mm,
and then
yeah.
he goes into the Euro, starts slow in the Euro, but gets hot in the knockout stages. And then he comes back, injuries, gets slow, and then doesn't have the consistency. Because for me, the thing is like, no, I don't see Chiesa as a number nine, but I see Chiesa as
No,
kind of like a number 10. I see him more as a 10 than
or
I do as a
10.
winger. I
Well,
do.
do you?
Because
Because
yeah. So the
maybe I
reason
haven't seen
why
enough of him there though.
the reason why I kind of agree with Allegri for that, the second striker, the support striker. Chiesa's got speed. Chiesa can shoot with both feet, right foot,
Mhm.
left foot. You put Chiesa in the middle, and he can cut in any direction. You
Yeah.
give Chiesa, and the reason why I think Allegri wants him to kind of play as that second striker is because if Chiesa hugs the left or hugs the right, you're just stuck on that one position. Where it's like, what made Dybala really effective back in 15, 16, and 17 and 18? Because Dybala was in the middle. You didn't know which way Dybala was going to come at you.
That's a good point.
So, like the thing is like I understand that, and I kind of get irritated when I see Chiesa hog up the left side of the field when we have a left wing back, where it's like, dude, you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, we need a
Like,
bit more dynamism, but perhaps that's part of the problem with Allegri's style, where he kind of lets the players decide how they're going to
and
play, and he's stuck in the left
and
right now.
yeah, and that's Allegri's Achilles heel, in my opinion, as a coach. Where because the thing is Allegri's system is I will have you defensively organized. I will teach you how to defend, how to keep and maintain leads. But when it comes to the offensive, I'm gonna let you guys cook. I'm gonna let you guys,
Mhm.
do your thing. Where it's like you look at more of a Simone Inzaghi. Like for example, if you look at Inzaghi, he tells everyone what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Like, yeah, you run the risk of being one dimensional because if your coach gets figured out, then how you can't think on the fly. So it's like it's almost like two polar opposites of each other from a coaching perspective, where you have Allegri that's kind of like defend and then kind of do what you want up top, versus like for example like an Inzaghi or Italiano where he's like, hey, I want the ball to get moved here, done this, do this, and do that, in which ironically uh Fiorentina tied 3-3 to Salernitana, and Salernitana's unbeaten in 10 games, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, those lower tier teams at the end of the season, they start
Yeah,
picking it up.
because and I saw someone make a comment on Twitter about our team, and they were saying that everyone's playing for themselves. They're way too individualistic. Like there's not really that many players that will actually play for the group. So and
Uh,
I kind of thought about that, and I was thinking about it, and it was interesting. I was like, outside Kostic and Fajoli, like who's really throwing up dimes? Like
well,
Pogba threw a
you have
couple.
Locatelli defensively.
Yeah, of course, but I'm
Like
saying
he's the defensive,
offensively.
but offensively,
Because defensively, they play as a unit. Defensively, they play again. The defense and the defensive midfielder plays as a unit for each other. But
okay,
like when you look at it offensively, it's
but
just some of the decision making kind of gets you for a loop, doesn't it?
no, I'm kind of hung up on that right now because the problem is really the service from the midfield, right? So if you're not getting service, when you finally do, you want that ball so bad that I mean you want to do something with it. I think that's really like the mental space where that's happening because I mean they're selfish. How could they be selfish if they don't even have the ball?
No, I get you, but like for example, uh, some of the look at it from a decision making perspective. So, like for example, let's use Kiesa's run where he's going at the Bologna player full stride, or not Bologna, the Lecce player full sprint, full stride, and then you have Kostic that's bombing completely unmarked with nobody there. Chiesa looks at him, and then instead of giving it to him, he
Yeah,
literally dribbles right into him.
we talk Chiesa though, like that's his headspace.
Yeah,
He
but
needs that space, or he needs to just learn to move somewhere else, right? Like he's stuck and he needs more time to learn. I think just because he's been so injured, and they got to figure it out. They just got to play more Kostic and Chiesa. If they're going to play in the left together, they're just going to have to learn how to jive together, and you need more than a couple games to do that.
because it's like, for example, when you threw Pogba in that midfield, it looks totally different. Like the midfield looks extremely different.
Well, because
Like
now
for
you have a
example,
world class midfielder compared
yeah,
to, I mean,
and
Paredes, Locatelli, Fajoli, Merletti, like a bunch of youngsters and a washed up dude.
yeah, because and this is just me kind of thinking out loud per se, but it's interesting because like for example, I never you know, for me that I really find intriguing about Pogba is Pogba looks for the pass before he shoots as
Yeah, and
that
that's what makes
midfielder.
him a world class midfielder.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I appreciated. Even though, like for example, because I remember the one where he was dribbling, he was thinking about shooting it, but he wanted to get the ball to Dusan. Like, yeah, unfortunately, it took an awkward bounce and it didn't get to him, but he was trying to
Yeah.
get it to Dusan.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's totally different. Where it's like Fajoli can only do so much at his age and his experience level. So it's
Mhm.
like I don't I don't have like those crazy expectations. And then same thing with Moretti as well. Me, it's just the one thing about, like, for example, if we talk about Locatelli, it's like defensively, I love the guy. He's great. Offensively, with his passes, I just look at it and I'm just kind of like, what's your thought process? Because the thing is, like, you look at Kostic too, and we could say Kostic is tired, but like some of these passes, Dave, these forward passes just don't make sense.
But I think a lot of that does just go back to the fact that they are just allowed to make their own decisions defensively. And when you don't have that 27-year-old plus, I know kind of arbitrary numbers, but those more veteran players that know how to make that decision. Again, it's just I think this is where the argument of the whole Allegri out. I mean, hashtag whatever, it's all bullshit,
Yeah.
you know that. But this is a case against Allegri style for sure. Is that with the age experience level that we have, especially offensively, his style, that like laissez-faire style, doesn't really work. They need more direction. And I think that's really the roots of these problems because they're good technically. They need a little direction.
Yeah, and you need a player that essentially dictates that, because I kind of want to go back to what you mentioned where you said Allegri style works with veterans, and you're 100%, because, like, for example, you look at the prime Allegri teams, and a lot of people are saying Allegri's a finished manager, blah blah blah. But I think when you're looking at it from a comparison standpoint, they're comparing apples to oranges, because I don't think Allegri's coaching style changed. It didn't get progressively worse. I think the players did, and I don't mean it as a term of disrespect, but like,
They got younger, more immature, less
yeah,
refined.
because for example, Kadira, Pjanic, Marquisio, Mandzukic, Higuain, Dani Alves, like back then, Dybala and Cuadrado were considered raw. They were considered the younger players at that time. Even Alexandro, where it's like you have Barzagli, you have Chiellini, you have Bonucci, you have Buffon. Where now it's just Bonucci, or as people like to call him, Band-Aid Banducci, because of the Band-Aid. But the thing is like right now, like, your only veteran player on the Juve team, like an OG veteran, is Bonucci and Pensiglio. Because like you can,
OG, yeah.
yeah. I mean, OG is like, part of the entire run. Like Tech came in
Yeah,
in
no, I know what you're
yeah,
saying.
Tech came
Uh,
in 2018, and then like Quadrado's 2016. So it's like, personally, I don't view Quadrado as a guy that I would follow. Like, with all respect to Quadrado, but like Quadrado, Alexandro, those aren't really guys that I would ride or die with. And like Benucci to me is kind of just like, I don't know. He's never struck me as a guy to lead a team, and I don't,
well,
he's a
screw
Walmart
Bonucci. Let's
cheerleader.
talk about the GOAT, Pensilio,
Okay.
because he's just everyone loves him. I mean, Bonucci, whatever. We know. We don't.
Y-
Cool.
Yeah.
But Pensilio, and I saw this on Twitter. I loved it. He has the same amount of Scudetti, sorry, as Napoli. And he doesn't even play.
3?
Yeah.
I figured he'd have more than
Was that?
3.
I hope it was Pensilio. It was one of our goalkeepers. Was it? No, it wasn't
That's
Perdini.
Chesney, probably.
No. Okay, I'll look. I'll find it. I'll find it again.
It's
Don't
gotta
worry.
it's gotta be Chesney. I'd be surprised if Pensiglio only gets registered for 3. No, it
Oh
might be.
no. Oh no. I'm scrolling through Twitter. Oh, I have to show this. This is I don't think they'll be worth the 24th team at this point. Guys, I'm showing you the Twitter. It's Ronaldo in a TFC jersey. You kidding me?
That'd be hilarious.
Oh my.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Okay, let's not go down there. Actually, what we can go down as just an aside. Unofficially official.
Unofficially official? I don't
This
know
is
how I
the
feel.
second leak of this kit.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's I think it's not bad. It's one of these things as well. It depends in person. I think especially
Yeah.
the yellow, your screen, depending on like how bright your screen, the yellow can really get washed out. Yeah, I think you'll just have to see because that black with yellow highlights, it could look good. We'll see.
Yeah, because it's the white that really irritates me. Like, can't it just be solid white stripes?
Apparently not anymore. No.
I guess it's just not. I don't know. For me, I think Adidas' kit quality is like gone
I
drastically
don't.
down.
Yeah.
I'm not a big
No.
fan of Adidas. Adidas is
No.
most people would say. I don't know.
Adida. It's
Yeah.
Adolf Draxler was the guy's name. Adidas. Adolf. Something like that.
If you have to say it with the German accent, it is Adolf Draxler. He is the one who made the Adidas. Even though it is okay, very good cleats actually. I wear the Predators. It is very good. But yeah, the jerseys is not so good. I don't like it. It's not okay.
All right. Love the imitations, the impersonations. You sound like Toto Wolff, who's the Mercedes F1 team principal. Like you nailed him.
I need to start watching Formula
You
One.
do. I keep on saying you got to watch it.
I need to start doing it. I'm just afraid that if I become a Ferrari fan, I just get signed up for disappointment.
Welcome to the club.
See,
You're a Detroit fan, and you've a
hey,
You're
maybe
okay.
the Lions might actually win something. They have had a successful draft, the highest rated draft for the last
But
3 seasons, and they're getting good.
nobody cares about them though. At the end of the day, regardless of what they
Hey,
do, so it doesn't matter.
well, you're a Colts fan, so
Allegedly,
allegedly
I
a Colts
forgot I
fan
was a Colts fan.
until I reminded him.
All right,
Shit.
let's move on to the next goal. We got through the Paredes quite early on, but the handball, Danilo's handball, and the Sase penalty. It was a bit of
I hate it. I
yeah,
hate it. I hate it because it's one of those things where it's like, by the rules, it is, but and then at the same time, it's kind of like, come on now. Like it hits him and then it hits his hand. So it's like I get it. I get the rules. I totally understand the rules, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck, man. That's like, oh, it's so cheesy.
yeah, but I mean, he kind of
He
did give
did.
a pushing mode. I see the interpretation. I'm not completely upset about it. I mostly because we won. If the outcome was different,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
if we lost, we would have been raging. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, damn it, because like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, come on. I totally get the rule. At the same time, I love it and I hate it because it is black and white, so it helps us sometimes, allegedly. Sometimes it doesn't. But like, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I saw it, I was annoyed, I was like, ugh. But kind of want to, I don't. How about Dusan's goal?
That was beautiful.
He,
I'm not and talking about like watching it, knowing what's gonna happen. I didn't actually see any of the highlights yet. I did want to watch that part all live. That got me excited.
It's like, Dusan, you see what happens when you finally like actually peel off your marker and go into open space? Like
Yes,
stuff like
and that's
that.
something I noticed. He was
Peeled
unmarked
off.
essentially. Yeah.
He peeled off, anticipated where the ball was gonna go, made a run and hit it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like playing like a number 9. It actually, scores you goals. And
So, yeah, he's doing his job.
I know I'm about to piss off a lot of people with that comment, but like for
That's
example,
okay.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just like and people are. It was funny because Beppe made a reel today saying that he taped his hand like Benzema with the 2 fingers wrapped like this, and then like the thing like that, and that's why he scored a Benzema goal.
sure.
But it's the thing, man. Like playoff, you got to play off the defender, man. It's just hopefully he gets some confidence and starts actually using it and just running with it, man. Because like
Yeah.
it's almost like he forgot how to score. And it was funny because we razz Paramount Plus commentators for how annoying they can be, but the one guy, I think it's Farad's favorite guy, but he was like,
The Scottish Italian.
the Scottish Italian is like, yes, I finally I see the time that Dusan he move away from the ball and he go into the open space, attacks the open space, and he gets his goal. Super good for him because the problem with him is sometimes he always likes, not sometimes, but always likes to go into the box to wait for the chance in front of him. Sometimes you need to peel off, go into the space and attack the space. That was like my best interpretation.
Yeah, not completely on, but I know you're. Yeah, I get the
There's
same
one. I don't
commentator.
know. Yeah, I don't know if that's that commentator or a different one, but it sounds like that. But like, it's good for him because he needs that.
He does.
Definitely needed that badly. But he's got to. The thing is now is like, the parent, like the proud parent that looks at their kid that does something incredible. Now you look at the kid and say, okay, great, do it again. I need him to score 4 more of them so he still has that 90 million value so we can sell them.
Yeah, no, and of course we want him to. But here's a cool stat. Obviously, his recent form, 12. I think that's 13 games. It's been 13 games since he scored. Now he's only one of 2 players since January 1st, 2000 that have scored at least 60 goals in Europe's top 5. Obviously, I mean, these stats are kind of catered. He's the one with the 60 goals. The only person ahead of him is Haaland with 96. So 2000 and earlier, essentially. He's the second best top. Mm-hmm. He's the second best. So he's still a great striker. He's just had 13 horrible games.
Yeah, just do better.
Just do better. Yeah, essentially that's what it is. So we do hope he gets back into form because the 60 is pretty decent for somebody his age already, right? In a fairly defensive league where there's not a lot of goal scoring to begin with, compared to say where Haaland plays in the EPL or the Bundesliga before that.
Well, like the thing is, like we joke about it all, like we joke about it and we troll, but we want him to succeed. Like we troll as a channel, like because again we like to have fun, we like to laugh around, and we do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Dusan that scores is a Juventus that wins, and again we want a Juve that wins. So it's like we troll around and stuff like that. But like it's just like people, I can see people being like, "Yeah, the Turin Giants freaking hate Dusan because they always make fun of him all the time."
We make fun of everyone. We make fun of
we make fun of everybody. So it's like anything's fair game.
Yeah. Now, speaking of doing better, we need to do better.
We do.
Juve have hit the woodwork 16 times this season, 13 in 2023 alone. We have that joint record with Roma. And I know this was mentioned, and I know it's probably like Frankie and KB, those guys on the lives are always like, the post. We always hit the post, and it seems like we do it a lot. So there you go. We do 16 times this season so far. Now, the last part of our post game, and I know Dash, you're the pseudo expert on ACLs.
Not ACLs, meniscus.
Okay, well, you seem to know enough about the ACL anyways. So, Danilo.
Yeah, I saw it. I read the report. It sucks, man. It sucks. It was interesting because I was looking at it and I'm like, was it an ankle? And then I saw his knee and I'm like, ooh, crap. And the thing is this was like more of a self-inflicted non-contact injury because he was kind of going in awkwardly to make a defensive play there. That's the worst. So like the thing is like the worst way to tear your ACL is the way that Danilo tore his ACL. Hands down. Because like there's the ones where you're running and it happens and it's just like shit. You're running and you're cutting, nothing you can do.
It's kind of like the Spinazzola injury in the Euros. Yeah, he's just running.
He's just running pop. But that was his Achilles. But like for example, even the Chiesa one, where it's just like he's going, he takes the hit, or like he tries to turn and then it just goes. But the Danilo one, it's just kind of like yikes, because he goes in hard on a challenge and he plants his leg awkwardly and it just
you can kind of see it too when I saw that replay. And at that time, we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I get weak.
But I was like, ooh, I think that's an ACL. That looks bad.
Yeah, I get weak every time I see like a knee injury, man. I just cringe because when you've had it yourself, it's just kind of like, oh, because
luckily I haven't any knee. I mean, I've screwed up everything else except my knees. But
yeah, it was funny. I was going to my chiropractor because I go monthly to my chiropractor just to maintenance because you need to. That's one of those things I always tell people. It's like, hey, man, take care of your body, especially us folk, guys. We're not professional athletes. We don't have, we're not getting paid for this crap. Even though we love to play pickup and our stuff, take care of your bodies. Seriously.
You're talking about maintenance. I just go to survive.
Yeah, but it was funny because I went there and I'm doing my checkup, getting my adjustment because as soccer players, a lot of times we throw our hip out of rhythm with how many times we shoot, pass, or do challenges. So I go more so for my lower back and my hip to make sure that's all settled. So I was talking to him and I was like, hey, I don't know why, but my knee's been swelling after every time I play for the past couple of weeks. And he's like, okay, let me take a look at it. He looks at it and he's like, oh, you might have pivoted awkwardly and your knee's out of balance. So he's like, he takes it and goes, poof, and pops. I'm just like, oh shit, that does that? I'm like dumbfounded because like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm extending my leg out, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's odd. And then like literally 4 or 5 hours later, I'm like, holy shit, it worked.
I mean, they're called witch doctors by some, not real
I
doctors.
know.
Whatever they get their trash talking, but I like them.
They're my best friend.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, he's probably gonna be what upwards to 9 months
At least.
at least. So more than that, yeah. I guess he can go over a year. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, a long time.
DeShilio's probably gonna stay injured until he collects that contract.
It could be because what's 25? He's good till.
It's 25. So he's not gonna be back until this time in 2024, maybe.
Yeah.
For me, DeCilio's not a guy that's built different. And by that, I say DeCilio, like when he gets injured, and this is terrible because someone on Twitter said it. He's like, he comes back, plays 2 or 3 games, gets injured, misses 6 games, gets back, plays 2 games. This case, I think I don't expect us to see DeCilio next season. Good
No.
news. The good news, or the bright side, is Cambiaso is back and not going to be challenged for that right back spot. Because Alex Sandro
Yeah.
is officially gone. At the end of the season, Sandro is leaving the club. So, or not Sandro.
I
Oh,
think
I almost
nothing's
called it.
official
I
yet,
almost
but
no. So Romeo Agresti actually said Quadrado and Juve's representatives met, and Quadrado is gone at the end of the year.
so that's for sure. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
mean,
who I meant to say.
I banked on it. I know Agresti was in the camp of him leaving, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I totally said Sandro earlier, but it was funny because I was about to cause like a full blown celebration on Twitter. It's Quadrado. It's Quadrado, folks. But
yeah,
Quadrado is leaving. There was a meeting with his representatives in the club today, and the understanding was that he gone.
he's gone. All right. So that was today's news. Okay, I missed
Yeah.
that today, obviously. All right. So thanks for keeping us up with the latest news from Romeo Agresti, our beloved. And of course, if you haven't checked our podcast with him, and when I say ours, that's a channel I wasn't there, completely missed out. But Dash was, and it was amazing. I love listening to it. So check out our interview with Romeo Agresti. Now, before we get to the Twitter questions, in the news again,
Is Pau Torres.
SMS.
Oh,
Paul Towers. No,
both of
SMS.
them. Yeah, I was gonna say both of them are technically.
Yeah, Pau has come up a bit today. I did see something on that, but we care about SMS. We're talking
Yeah.
SMS. Pau Torres. We'll save that for a later date. Let's get that one juiced up a little bit. But right now, SMS, because allegedly they offer 25 million euros plus bonuses, and Lotito apparently wants 40. So we're back on the SMS question. How much is he worth? His contract is coming due another year, right? Yeah, it's got another year on that. So this is the final year contract bonus phase, if you will. How much is he worth? How much are we going to pay? And do we do this anyways?
I don't see Lazio selling him for 25.
Well, it's 25 in bonuses. They're asking for 40. So I'm doing the math. That's 15,
40?
right?
They're only asking for 40?
It's the contract year. Apparently, Latito's asking 40.
Lotito's no,
That's what I read. Okay, I'll find the source.
No, I get it. I'm not I'm not questioning that. I'm just sitting here like, is Lotito like
You don't believe?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't believe Lotito. It's not that I don't believe you, Dave. I believe you. I just don't believe Lotito.
You don't believe Lotito.
Because
yeah, I don't question your questioning of him, like yeah, I mean that's fair. You don't believe Lotito, who would? But I mean, okay, I'm looking up the source. I'll see where that came from. But regardless, he's back in the news. Okay, 25. We're not getting him for 25. There's no way. But okay, this is from around Juventus. So, I mean, not the best, not the worst, but regardless, I'm thinking you meet halfway at the very least. That's 32 and a half. I'm thinking you do like 32 plus bonuses. Do like 5 million bonuses of that. It kind of goes it up to 37. There's probably going to be like easy bonuses, hard bonuses, probably come 35, 36. So let's just say 35 million is kind of where this would end up. Is it good? I mean, that's not horrible.
He's in his 30s though, right? He's close to his 30s, so
Yeah,
he's almost
I
the
think
same
it's
age,
gonna be
same age as Pogba. But that would be interesting because it's like, assume we have a healthy Pogba, and then we have him, and then Locatelli is your midfield.
and then you have Robella,
Fajoli,
maybe Fajoli. Moretti's probably going to get a loan. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
I think I think Moretti's done at the end of the season as like
Yeah.
being first team consistently. I think he gets loaned unless he turns on the juice for a
Yeah,
couple
of
months.
course.
But
Again, there's options, right? Locatelli's in there.
yeah, and then so funny. There's breaking news. Napoli fans have stormed Udinese Stadium to celebrate the Scudetto. That's like super disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie.
They stormed it?
Yeah, they stormed Udinese. They've stormed Udinese Stadium. Like they're on the field.
No.
You want to see it?
Yeah, bring it up. Let's see this.
So
I mean, nothing surprises me from Napoli either.
So this is our good from Giuseppe. But yeah, this is Udinese Stadium, and those are all.
Oh, that's not like storming. That's like rioting.
Yeah. It's absolutely like madness. Like I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, are they fighting? It's like it looks like some people are fighting. Some people are trying to rush into the locker room. Like that's like embarrassing. Like that to me is ridiculous. Like kudos to Napoli for winning the league, but this is why nobody likes them.
Nobody likes us either, so I guess we're in good company.
Yeah, but we don't do that though.
No, we don't. Well, most of us don't. I'm sure there's a couple.
I just want to put it on the record. Juventus won their third Scudetto in 1931. That's all I need to say.
Oh, the pettiness.
Look, I'm just saying. Look, Dave, if we won the Scudetto and we stormed on San Siro or something like that, or if we stormed on Cremonese, everyone would look at us and be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you guys?"
That's fine. I'm just like in the position where I'm outwards looking in this case. I'm happy. I'm enjoying the entertainment value. I think it's ridiculous, but I'll sit here and laugh.
I do, but I think it's kind of ironic because Napoli wants to get treated like big boys, and right now everyone's looking at him like, "Aw, look at the toddler. The toddler finally got their toy. Let them have their 5 minutes of fun."
The people that go around demanding respect don't get it because they demand it. Exactly. Case in point. Anyways, who cares? Let us know. SMS 25, 40. What is he worth? Do we get him? Let us know your thoughts on that. But now we are going to get into your Twitter. Well, Twitter, it's not the question. It's the answers to our question. Kind of screwed that up in a sense. But anyways, the question was, here, I'll zoom this in a little bit for you guys. Allegri, our new sporting director. Now, again, Jack Gallagher was on our podcast this week. He kind of broke that news. He is a bit of a source coming of the sporting director stuff here. So we'll listen to that podcast as well. But this is what you guys thought. Jamie says, even worse than having him as a coach.
Laughing emojis by Farad.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Again, the jokes are all right. Worked up pod. Is there any good source pushing this? I don't buy it.
90 minute
football, Jack Gallagher.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, we had him on the podcast, so listen to his perspective. We're not saying it's true. It is a rumor. But hypothetically, that's what we're asking, right? So, Mike, Juventino MC. Creative way to solve two problems, but leaving a role that is vital for the transfer market is a bit of a risk because we need cheap reinforcements this summer that can provide a starter value. I like that. It's good. It's a good perspective. I think
it is. It's the way to fire someone without firing somebody.
Yeah. And also not just losing out on $14 million.
Exactly. But the thing is, and this is kind of what irritates me from the SMS stuff, is who the hell's making these bids? There's no sporting director who's just sitting there like, oh shit, let's offer 25 plus bonuses.
That's actually a good question.
Like that's the one thing where I'm like sitting there, I'm like, because I saw that and I'm like seeing all the transfer rumors and I'm like, who's making is Elkin just saying like, let's buy this guy? or make it happen. Like,
They are rumors, right? Again,
yeah,
the source is perhaps questionable. I'm
I
not saying any
know.
of it's true. It's just a discussion point.
Yeah. No, totally. I get it, but I'm just like curious because it's just like, what? Like I got so confused when I saw that. I was just really confused. I'm like, who's authorizing it? Like, is Allegri saying I'm gonna do this, or
I've heard some stuff that Elkin is kind of giving the go ahead on some of these. More so with like the sporting director side of things, right? But which
okay.
makes sense because that's management.
No, I get it. I'm just curious. That's all.
Yeah,
But Mike's got a really good take here, so I'm
yeah,
100% with him.
yeah. Thanks,
Um,
Mike.
Sam Salabam Adamo is saying if we execute him, do we still have to pay him? No,
No,
we can.
he's got a
No.
thing about executing Allegri. Sam does because when he
Sam,
was on BBC, he had something about hanging him in the streets like Mussolini. Of course, that never made it to the BBC. Clearly, because
pretty sure that doesn't make the cut.
yeah, but it's still hilarious. That's Sam Adamo from formerly known as the Cultural Podcast. He's branching out a bit, still talking cultural, but the Bordello is now what he calls his podcast, and you can find him at I am Sam Adamo. He's one of our semi-regulars.
I love Sam.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
It's just
He's a
such a
firecracker.
it's a, such an ironic name. AJ, I love when AJ comments on our stuff. He says the smart way to satisfy both the ins and the out camps. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but the outs will still find for something to bitch. It's raining. Allegri out. Um, that's actually a really funny profile. Pullback Bederson is saying Allegri needs to go, completely go, be a coach or a sports director. Stilly needs to have a vision of how to construct a modern football strategy and build a sustainable foundation while the rest of the world moves into attacking an attractive football. Allegri still, I really get irritated with attractive football because it's like when you're winning and if you're winning titles, no one gives a shit about how you're playing.
But
Like,
you do have to understand there are fans that want to enjoy a certain type of football. They enjoy just watching the football, and they're not necessarily like us that are getting into it day in day out and looking
yeah,
at the back end of it.
I call those folk participation trophy wannabes. Like, I'm sorry. Like, oh
But
yeah,
are
we
you going
play.
to tell? Okay, I'll put it this way, right? Like music. Most of us just listen to music because hey, I like that sound. Sounds cool. But do you study music? Do you know the notes and the structure, and do you analyze it? Same with like movie critics. They know how films are put together and
But
filmography. I mean, most of us like, hey, cool, that was an explosion. But there's people like looking at the camera angle and like the
but that
frame rates that they use and the filters. It's
But
levels.
that's the problem, Dave, though, because like the people that like, for example, a lot of the footy people that say that like are the armchair managers. Like the guys that are like, "Oh, why aren't we pinging 20 passes before we score a goal? Why are we only doing sit back and doing this?" Like that's the thing. Like for me, it's like if it's a casual that has no idea what the game is and they're like, "Oh, this looks fun." Cool. Power to them. I'm fine with it. My issue and the one thing that I want to go at is like you have these guys that have never coached, never had any coaching badges, never got into like an actual serious competitive because like for example, if you look at like a lot of like their Twitter commentators of people that actually have played the sport in an organized fashion, a lot of them aren't going to sit here and say I need attractive football. They're saying, "Hey, I need to win." Like we need to win instead of, cuz to me like as a player myself, if I lose a game, I'm not gonna walk off the field and say, "Well, shit, at least I played well," or "Shit, at least we played beautifully." Like, no, you lost. Like, you didn't play good because you lost. Like, that's the one thing that surprises me. It's like for example, you let's use Liverpool. Oh, hey, we're like 7th in the league. I think they're finally coming back up the table, but like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, like, Ten Hag. Let's use Ten Hag because a lot of people think he plays attractive football. Oh, yeah. Well, guess what? His away record is absolute garbage, and he lost 7-0 to Man United. Oh, but he plays well. Okay, great. What does he have to show for it? Nothing. So it's like that to me is just like I don't understand that argument where it's like you want a participation trophy. It's like you go to the final and it's like those people are the ones that go to a final, lose the final, but still keep the second place medal because they think, oh, hey, it's a second place medal. Like that to me, it's just a cop out in my opinion.
All right, Dash, simmer down, simmer down. You getting you get angry over this.
Ah,
Apologize to
ah.
Paul back. All right, man, you went hard on that one.
It's just, when I see that attacking attractive football, it's like only one
That's what he wants
person.
to see. That's what he
I'm
wants.
just saying only one coach can do that, and that's Pep Guardiola, no one else. Uh, Lay Low says, I actually think he'd be great at it. He's a great manager of people and can read the state of mind. And one of the things he's got right this season is pressure. Yeah. He's literally the reference point for the team for the outside. That's a good take because I think Allegri in a management role, front office management, I think he'd be good at it because the dude can keep stability, knows how to handle the journalists. I said
Yeah.
journalism. He can handle that stuff. I think again that's good for it. Again, for me, I don't know if a sporting director is good for him. I think maybe, whatever the director of sport or whatever weird terminologies they use in Italy, but
Yeah, whatever.
like the guy that faces the media, I think Allegri's that guy because he won't throw people under the bus. He'll keep everything calm and collected. And
He's very
the one
corporate.
thing, the one thing I do give Allegri credit for is again his professionalism,
Yeah.
outside the allegedness of shenanigans that he said to people, but does that. He said, and JLA says you can put the world's best 11 for this man and it won't help.
I think we discussed that if you gave him a
The
good
world's,
11.
I think it probably would.
Yeah,
Because
it would.
the
We could
world's
disagree.
the world's greatest 11 don't need a coach. They'll play on their own.
Yeah.
So John says, no, we need somebody who is world class at the specific job. We aren't a work charity that gives people a go at the job to see how they do, especially when you consider just how much you're sweat. That's
I'm going
not,
to say because you're
yeah,
in Italy that absolutely you're going to give the job to the people on your inside circle.
that's how Italy works.
Yeah. So
Do we agree with
I
it?
know
No.
like America, yes, I mean you make sense, but Italy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean different rules. Not agreeing, but yeah, just different set of rules. That's all that is.
Juve Nel Core, if you move the problem higher up, you'll make it a bigger problem.
It's a different skill set though as
Different,
well.
yeah.
And you're again not incorrect,
He's
but
not
it's not a
wrong, but
linear.
he's not
It's
wrong, but he's not right.
it's not like you're going from like the defensive coach to the assistant coach to the coach. You're going from a coach, which is one thing, to a sporting director, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So those skill sets don't linearly progress, essentially. So maybe yes, but not necessarily.
Yeah, it's totally different. And then Mars says if he isn't responsible with transfers, I'm fine with it.
Then no,
Yeah,
I guess is what he's saying.
no. Yeah. Brixente del Simpiri says, is that a way of is that a way of avoiding the compensation package that he's due to receive if we sack him? I'll go for it.
Yes, from what I understand, yes, it would avoid the compensation package. You just continue the contract, but in a different role. So perhaps there's something in the contract that doesn't mean like it dictates it doesn't have to be a specific role in the team. It can be like just employed by the team. I don't know. I don't know his contract. I'm sure there's only a couple people that do. So we'll find out more if it comes out. But again, hypothetical at this point. Will not make a difference as long as Allegri's there. He could have the players of Bayern and would still lose. That's from math that goes back to this one from JLA. So, same idea. Yeah, I think you give the best 11 to anybody, you're going to win.
Is that all the comments? Oh, no, we got more.
Yeah.
That's just him jumping out the window. Nick Furno says yes, if we also get a manager that can get the best from Chiesa, Vlahovic, Pogba, bring in a new keeper, left back, center back, along with Del. Why does everybody want Del Piero back right now?
And we don't really need a new keeper.
We don't really need a new keeper.
That's not the priority. But yeah, I mean, whatever, wish list, sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just love Del Piero. But I don't think he
doesn't want to be
essential.
back. I think, and here's the thing too, like people need to understand, dude doesn't want to be back. Like if he wanted to, he would have been back by now. He doesn't want to come back. Like I don't understand why everyone's sitting there foaming at the mouth of like,
because they're fanboys. We love them. That's it. We just
I love Del Piero, but it's just one of those things where it's like, guys, if he wants to be back, he would have came back already. And then Soleil says Allegri needs to go. Great. Fantastic. Thanks for answering the question.
Yeah, no, no, more no.
Mikey says, no thanks. Time to say ciao to Max. Okay.
These are the last two now.
CV says, terrible idea. Juve's trying to find a way not to pay Allegri the money in case throw his ass from the club. You cannot correct a mistake by bringing Allegri back and giving me more
monstrous contract.
Give him a monstrous contract by committing another one. Allegri should Kiev the club. That is the solution.
Keep it. Okay, so Allegri leaving the club is not a solution. Who you replace Allegri with is the
Is
solution.
a solution. And that's the one thing, because remember, I think it was on Twitch or YouTube where someone's like, we have the solution, remove the coach. Okay, great. Then
That's
what?
no, that's the
That's the
problem.
action.
That's like the first,
That's
that's
the
one half the
action.
equation.
That is an action. You know, X plus Y equals Z. You know, Allegri getting fired is X. What's your Y?
Yeah.
And then our good friend Misak is saying, no,
Oh, buddy, Misak.
no, but a bleep, no. Haven't we learned already that appointing an inexperienced sporting director leads to Paratici Cherubini? And we want to put a guy with zero experience in the field as the sporting director. It would be the Award. I do not want us to get the band on the YouTube. But as a collaborator, yeah, and that's, I think, where I fit in line too. Just a collaborator or a consultant. There's nothing wrong with having an Allegri as a consultant.
Misak usually takes a pretty solid stance, but he backs it up as well. So I appreciate that.
That's why I love Misak. Because the thing is, he'll come in and be bombastic, but then he's like, but it is this, and this because of this. That's why I love Sunday League Coach, man. Sunday League Coach is one of my favorite Twitter pages too. Because like he will go into like people and say, all right, this is why you're wrong, X, Y, and Z. So like oh, I can't wait to get him on the podcast. Oh, it's gonna be so fun to talk with him.
Was that a drop?
It might be.
Okay.
Might be.
More to come. Something I can confirm. We don't have the dates, the times, any of that just yet. But we will be collaborating with Monchi's Men. Now, who's Monchi's Man, you may ask? Look him up on YouTube. Look him up on all podcasting platforms. They are a Sevilla English-speaking podcast, fan club, what have you. Like us, it's our Sevilla counterparts, just like we did with Benfica with Rabona, who we'll name drop him. He's going to be on the podcast at some point. But also our friends at Sporting, as we know, they were fantastic. But now, yes, we have Sevilla fans. They're going to be on the pod. We're going to hook that up. And hopefully for the pregame next week is what we're looking at. So, bam, I'm excited about that. We have a lot of things happening. Dash has got...
We do?
You got some things going. I got some things going. Frothead's got some things going. Our boys running the shorts, they got some... There's new things coming there. Man,
there is.
So much. It's the end of the season, too. We've got to keep things fresh over the summer.
And we do, because I have GoPro footage of pickup games, and you guys are probably going to troll the hell out of me because sometimes the footage isn't the best, or my skills aren't the best in some.
Yeah, the footage is fine. The skills are questionable.
The skills are questionable. Oh my gosh, I got some footage from a game last night, and it was not your buddy's best game. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean,
but whatever.
For moments.
Whatever, I'll share it. Don't really care because I'm not here trying to promote myself as the greatest pickup art player of all time. So,
just the greatest pickup player in the Detroit area.
No, that's what washed out college players are for. They're the ones that battle for that title.
You're not a washed out college player?
No, I can't. To be honest with you, my time was done, and I knew it was done. For me, it's more so like I love to compete, and I love to like still sharpen my my sword. But at the same time, it's like, come on, man! Like I don't have anything to prove to anybody out there. It's like move on, dude. Let it go. You're
moving
trash.
On.
You're trash. Move on.
Speaking of moving on, letting go,
and it's time for the music.
It is time for the music. Let's do it.
Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the YouTube, and he lowered the volume on it. Thanks for tuning into the YouTube exclusive podcast of the Post Lecce /news/Turn Giants question/more stuff. But anyways, guys, we're almost to the monetization course, so just remember to like, comment, share the video to your friends, guys. We've got some more fun stuff coming your way. Mochi's Men is going to be happening soon with us, and we're going to be doing some podcasts, so look out, because Sunday League Coach might be joining us. But on that note, Dave,
baby,
take it away.
Love you all. Thanks for joining. Catch us Saturday night for the live call-in show where you get to tell us what you think. Love you all. Till next time.